Hello, folks. Welcome to today's football predictions on BetCraft. Another very beautiful Monday morning, and once again, we are back with our predictions right on this very channel. Always what we do, looking at football games that are going on across the globe, and also making verdicts on, based on stats that we have on ground for each of these teams. All right, we have these teams are lined up already, and in a short while, we'll be looking at these matches one after the other. But a little look at yesterday's game. Yesterday wasn't really, the best of days for us. It does happen once in a while. Not the best of days, but we had little bit of setback yesterday, and today we hope that we do very much better. And this games for today are quite looked into, and we'll definitely do, better today. And short while we'll be doing that, looking at these matches. But I want, as you also are coming across a video for the first time, like yet to subscribe, take out time to hit the button right now so that you won't be missing out on our games that will always come up on this very channel on a daily basis. All right. That being said, without further ado, we head to the business of today, and we'll be starting with the first match. It is in a World Cup qualifying match in Africa, where we have a Central Republic of Africa, coming up against Mali. All right, when we look at recent games for these two sides, you could see that Central African Republic have actually won just one game in the last six matches, but have lost five out of those six games that they had at recent times. When you look at Mali at their way side, they've had three victories and two draws, but have also lost just one game out of the last six matches that they have so far. When you look at how these two teams fared from home on away basis, you could see Central African Republic have actually managed to achieve five victories and five losses in the last 10 home matches that they had so far. As a matter of fact, the last four home games that they had, so they're losing all four. The last was actually against Madagascar, where they lost that by 4-1 against Madagascar. All right, and away side, Mali have done a little bit better, winning six games in the last 10 away matches. They've also had draws. They also have four draws out of those last 10 away games that they had so far. All right, last time both teams met was actually in 2023, and it was a 1-0 draw on that occasion. But in this one, we'll be expecting the Mali side, the away side, who are having a lot of quality to do better in this one and win out shortly. It is the away side to win. That's what we expect for that very game. And the next is in the World Cup qualifying match in Europe, we'll have Poland who will face in Malta. All right, for looking at recent statistics for each of these two sides, you see for Poland, it is one win and one draw, but have also lost four games in the last six matches that they have so far. And the Malta side have actually won three games and a draw, losing two out of those six matches. All right, when you look at how they fared on home and away basis, you could see that playing from home, the Polish side have actually won five matches from home in the last 10 home games that they have so far. They've also lost four games and one draw. And away side, Malta have managed three wins from away, and they've also had seven losses out of the last 10 away games that they have so far. And there's no head-to-head record for both sides, but we'll be expecting Poland, the home side, to achieve a result against this Malta side. It is the home side to win out shortly. That's what we expect for that very game. And the next game we have is we've gone to the club matches this time around, and it is in Northern Ireland Premier League, where we'll have Dungannon Swifts who will be coming up against Linfield. All right, Dungannon Swift, the home side. The last six games have had three victories and a draw, but have also lost two matches in the last six games that they had in recent times. And the away side, on the other hand, Linfield winning four games and a draw, and also losing one match in the last six games that they have so far. All right, when you look at how they fared on home and away basis, Dungannon Swift, the home side, have had four victories and a draw in the last 10 home matches, but have also lost five matches out of those 10 home games that they had. And away side, Linfield, on the other hand, have won seven games from away, had two draws and just one loss in the last 10 away games. That tells you that Linfield is a side that does so very well, whether they play from home or away. And looking at head-to-head basis, you see that Linfield also have dominated this very tie, winning 9 times out of 10 against Dungannon Swift. And Dungannon Swift just winning only once, against Linfield. So in this very one, we'll be expecting Linfield to continue the dominance, and it is the way side to win out shortly. That's what we expect for that very game. And that will take us to the next for today. It is in Italia Serie C, where we'll have Avellino, who will be facing Potenza. Okay, Avellino won 5 games and 1 loss in the last 6 matches, and Potenza have won 2 games and 3 draws, but have also lost one out of the last 6 recent encounters. Right, when you look at how they fared on home and away basis, you can see that Avellino have done so very well for themselves from home, winning 9 games and a draw in the last 10 home matches. That tells you that is a side that does so very well playing from home. And Potenza, on the other hand, have managed to achieve 4 victories from away, and they've also had 4 draws, but have lost 2 matches in the last 10 away games that they had so far. And on head-to-head basis, the last time both teams met, the last 2 times they met, saw them playing out a 2-2 draw and a 0-0 draw, which happened in November of last year. Although on those 2 occasions, actually, Potenza played from home, but each time we saw Avellino playing from home, they actually wins against Potenza. So in this very one, we'll be expecting a win for the home side, Potenza, Avellino, to win out shortly. Home win, that's what we expect for that very game. And that takes us to the next for today. It is in the India I-League, where we'll have Kashi, who will be up against Shillong Lajong. Right, pardon me about the names out there. But when you look at how these teams fade, from home and away, from the recent games that they had, you could see that for the home side, Kashi, it is 3 victories and 2 draws, and also 1 loss in the last 6 games. And away side, Shillong have had 2 wins and a draw, but I've also lost 3 matches out of the last 6 matches that they have so far. All right, looking at how they fared on home and away basis, you can see the home side, Kashi, is a side that have actually won 6 games in the last 10 home matches. They've also lost 3 matches out of those, but of course they've had 1 draw as well. And Shillong, the away side, winning 2 games and 2 draws in the last 10 away games, but have also lost 6 matches out of the last 10 away games that they had so far. And when you look at how they fared on head-to-head basis, the last time both teams met was in December, and it was a 0-0 draw, and Shillong played from home on that occasion. And prior to that, we saw Kashi playing from home, winning this very side by 2-1. That was a match of last year, and in this very one, we are definitely expecting a home win. Kashi, the home side, to win out shortly. That's what valid for that very encounter. Okay, and the last game that we'll have for you is actually in Egypt Cup. We'll have Geish will be coming up against Ahly. All right, for Geish, it is 1 win and 2 draws, but have also lost 3 games in the last 6 matches. And Ahly, on the other hand, a very strong side in Egyptian League, winning 4 matches and a draw, and also losing 1 in the last 6 games that they have so far. All right, from home and away perspective, Geish have managed just 1 win, but have also had 6 draws in the last 10 home matches. They've also lost 3 games out of those, and away side Ahly have managed to achieve 5 victories from the last 10 away games. They've also had 4 draws and 1 loss in the last 10 away games that they have so far. But on head-to-head basis, the last times both teams met, or the last 10 times both teams met, saw Ahly winning 7 times out of 10, and the other 3 being a draw. There's not been a time Geish have on the upper hand against this very side. So we'll be expecting Ahly to do very well in this very match, and it is their away side to win. That's what we expect for that very game. All right, that brings our predictions for you today on Betcraft to conclusion. Wish you the very best of luck, and I hope your ticket goes green. Also remember to play responsibly. It is football match. Sometimes, as we see in recent occasions, it may not be exactly what it seems. All right, that being said, tomorrow is another day. We'll be back on this very channel with our predictions. But until that time, keep winning.